Patreon Q&A number 61. I want to thank all 79 of my incredibly awesome, mega powerful patrons. I love you guys, and I can't thank you enough for all of your support. To everyone else listening, there's going to be spoilers in these questions and answers, so tread carefully after this point. Chase C asks, hey Shonen, back again this week for some more battle anime matchups. Love to hear your thoughts as always, and keep up the good work. Hey, thanks, Chase. Battle scenario. Boros' ship landed 50 years earlier, and instead of Saitama being the warrior he encountered, it was instead Prime, Bang, and Bomb. To make it more interesting, let's say in this battle, Boros cannot use his Collapse Star Roaring Cannon. So this is a super interesting question. So we're going off of Prime Bang here, and we're going off of released Boros, because, I don't know, maybe they do something to take his armor off. Maybe they do avoid Aura Ripping Fist and they break the armor when they first encounter him, or he just takes it off. So let's just go straight to released Boros, because it's difficult to say how strong just armored Boros is. These two at their prime, we can assume is much more powerful than they were currently at 80 years old, are likely ridiculous. They're like, I don't know, Golden S level, maybe somewhere around there, because they're already kind of high dragon, so I assume they gotta be above that, right? Maybe, it's hard to say, we're just guessing with these guys, and I don't want to trigger too many people, but them together, it would be like two Golden S's going against released Boros, which would kind of be competitive. Now, it's difficult to say how long they would be able to compete against him because he shows some outrageous power and speed. And given that, like, they are pretty tanky, I mean, they took Melzerguard, or well, at least Bang did, took Melzerguard's, one of his best strikes and just shook it off. I mean, it did mess him up, but then we're going, like, with them taking Elder Centipede's Headbutt, and it didn't really mess them up too bad, so they're pretty durable, and if we're just increasing that, then I'm sure they would be durable enough to keep up with release Boros for a little bit, but then they could use the Crossfang Dragon Slayer Fist, avoid Aura Ripping, and all of that stuff, and would that still be enough? And also, if he's not even using the Collapse Star Roaring Cannon, he could still shoot like an energy blast from him. He still has that inherent ability, and then he has his regeneration. And then, like, if they go Abandonment, it's unknown if Bomb can use the Abandonment. I don't think he can. But if Bang uses the Abandonment and Bomb does whatever he could do, then, you know, we're going up a level. Then, like, if they even somehow, if the fight gets this far and they could somehow push Boros to Meteoric Burst level, then I think it's over for them. Even if they are, like, approaching Awakened Garo territory, and that's a big maybe if they are, I still don't think that's quite enough to deal with Meteoric Burst Boros. Now, I'm not saying Awakened Garo can't defeat Meteoric Burst Boros. I'm going to make a whole video about this maybe next month, I don't know. But it's hard to say, honestly, because of how outrageous his feats are and how we can only really guess about Prime, Bang, and Bomb. But they would definitely do better than most, I would say. But winning is a whole different other thing. Like, I can't just say that they would win because he's just so outrageous, even in just his released form. But I do think that they could compete against him. Like, he wouldn't just blow them out of the water immediately. I think they could get some stuff going, but man, I think Boros would probably get the better of them. Bryan asks, yo Z, the videos have been getting better and better lately. The editing looks amazing. Hey, thanks bro. I just feel like there's so much more I need to improve on, so much more I need to learn about that stuff, but I appreciate it. My question I wanted to ask you this week was about Metal Knight. You said that his army and total resources are that of a high dragon, possibly even god. Do you think that he has one singular drone that is as strong as someone like Drive Knight? Absolutely. I totally think that he does. Not even just as strong as Drive Knight, but even stronger than that. I think Metal Knight's, like, top tier, like, Brave Giant, whatever that is, robot, is probably, like, above Dragon, somewhere around there. Just taking a guess. And I assume that it's going to be fitted with Boros' ship technology, whether it's plated in that, or whether it's supplemented by the technology in it or whatever, but he is going to have one singular drone that is ridiculously powerful. I guarantee that this is going to happen. When is it going to happen? Your guess is as good as mine, but I guarantee we will see something like him pull a Brave Giant out of nowhere, and then it's just so powerful that it's like soloing S-class heroes or something like that. I mean, it's par of the course with this type of stuff, and I think it would be anticlimactic if we don't see something like that from Metal Knight. My second question is, do you think Atomic Samurai's disciples would be able to beat most of the demon level monsters we've seen so far in the series, Deep Sea King, Pure Blood, etc. So I don't think they'd be able to defeat most of the demons. Definitely not like Deep Sea King and Pure Blood, because they're like in the high demons. So they did defeat Devil Longhair, but I think he's like probably mid-demon. He didn't really do anything that made me think that he was definitively high. And also we kind of saw where E-Iron was when he went against Rhino Wrestler, and I think Rhino Wrestler is probably like a mid-demon too. Deep Sea King, Pure Blood, they would just be like too fast and too powerful for the disciples, honestly, and like Pure Blood has regeneration and all that stuff, especially Deep Sea King in his hydrated form. Now granted, the disciples are pretty powerful because the comparative scale the Hero Association uses is like minimum 10 A-class heroes to go against a demon, and there's just 3 of them. So they are around pretty powerful, you know, close to S-class level as a group, but man, Deep Sea King, Pure Blood, Bug God, Awakened Cockroach, G5, guys like that would be just a little too much for them right now, considering that, like, they were pushed to their limit just to take down Devil Longhair. Chriszy, yes, I've been watching your videos ever since the whole BS on your channel, so now I just want to give you something back for all the insight and in-depth analysis on my favorite battle anime. Hey, thanks, Chriszy. Appreciate that, my friend. So my question is, after Shibawa's prophecy has been fulfilled, is this basically the end of the series? And how do you think the ending will be? A happy ending where everyone gets to live and Saitama finds meaning in his life, or something else? Anyway, thanks for all the hard work and keep it up. Thanks again, Chriszy. So, I do think that the series will end after the prophecy has been fulfilled in 6 months. That's more or less going to be the ending. In my opinion, I think it's guaranteed at this point. Also, given what one said about how he's figured out the beginning and the ending of the series and he's just filling in the gap. And given that we have a ticking clock and a destination for the series to go at the very beginning, it's likely that it's going to end here. So yes, Saitama is probably going to fight God, and when he does fight God, I feel like he's going to get the satisfaction that he's been looking for, that rush, that fulfillment, that need that he was looking for in the dream. He's probably going to get it in reality, and then after he defeats God, it'll be like he finally, climaxed. Then he's done. He doesn't need to fight anymore. He doesn't need to chase the dragon anymore. He is now fulfilled. And I also think at that point, all of the S-Class or all of the Hero Association is likely going to see that he is the one above all. But then I think he'll probably say something along the lines of where, like, he doesn't want to have credit. He doesn't want the world to acknowledge him as the one above all or something like that. And maybe King will get the credit or something like that. Or, you know, he just is acknowledged as the protector of Earth and everyone loves him, but it just doesn't seem like the narrative would be that straightforward for this series. But more or less it will be a happy ending, but I do think at least like 2 people are going to die. Prominent characters, that is. Free-Tshirts asks, hey Shonen, I saw your Above Tiger video, but I was a little sad my favorite tiger didn't make it, so I wanted to ask what disaster level you thought Kamakuri was. He's said to be one of their stronger members, so he's no chump, but it was a great video anyway. Keep up the good work, my dude. I'll see you next week. Take care, my guy. Hey, thanks, Free-Tshirts. I always appreciate your support and your kind words. So, Kamakuri, I did actually think about him for that video, but he just doesn't have any feats. He just literally busts through the ceiling and then gets punched, and that's it. So yes, Sluggerus and Frogman do say that he's one of the more powerful dudes, but also the databook rates him to be a tiger. And given that, like I said, we don't see any feats from him, it's hard for me to say, is he above tiger or is he like even a high tiger? Now, maybe he's a high tiger, because we know that the House of Evolution doesn't mess around. And if he is said to be pretty strong by their standards, or at least the 2 little fodder dude standards, then he's probably up there. But pushing to above tiger territory, I'd need to see some feats from him more or less. But yeah, like you said, he's no chump, and I agree with that. He's probably a beast among tigers and would probably wreck some A-class heroes even. Jordan asks, hey Shonen, how's life going for you, man? It's going pretty good, Jordan. Thanks for asking. I hope it's going good for you too. So I've been rewatching One Piece, and I'm on the Marineford arc, and I'm noticing Boa's fruit is actually super broken, and she mainly uses her legs for fighting. How do you think a fight would go between Boa versus Sanji? But minus Sanji being a perv and disregarding what Zeph taught him, because I know that's a crazy big part of who Sanji is, but I'm talking a balls-out fight. Sanji isn't holding back, Boa isn't holding back, hockey flying everywhere. How do you think this fight would turn out? Love your content, man. Stay cool. So yeah, we're gonna really have to disregard everything about Sanji, because if we're going by like in series canon Sanji, he loses this fight very easily. because she wouldn't even have to try that hard because her fruit would just do all the work for her, considering how Sanji is. I mean, this is just an absolute terrible matchup for him. Probably one of the most terrible that we'll see, other than like going against a Yonko or something. So yeah, but if we're just like removing Sanji's mind from the equation and it's just Sanji at his peak, like robotic going against Boa, I still don't think he's probably going to win, because it's already still a bad matchup, because any kind of physical striker is a bad matchup for Boa, because all she has to do is make contact with you, and then you're at a disadvantage when she turns to part of the portion that she touches you to stone. Now, whose hockey is stronger? It's hard to say, you know, or at least armament hockey. It's difficult to say, but more or less, I don't know, maybe Boa's a little more, maybe not, maybe they're equal, but I think that Boa's observation hockey is better than Sanji's, and she also has Conquerors, and he doesn't. So, or at least so far we don't know that he does. So, and also, like, she has some good feats, and Sanji does too, but if he, like, let's just say he puts on the raid suit and goes to his absolute limit, then maybe it's like a high diff for Hancock. I mean, I'm sure I'll change my mind once we see Sanji really get his hands dirty at Wano, but right now it just seems like Boa is a little too much for Sanji, even if he doesn't have like his mind holding him back. She's very, very powerful, actually, and we still haven't seen her at her peak yet, but just taking a guess, it seems like she's just a little better than Sanji. Not too much. Chance asks, hey Shonen, how strong would Yusuke, Kuwabara, and Kurama and Hiei be in One Punch Man, given hero ranks or disaster levels, preferably at their strongest? Thanks, have a good day. Hey, thanks Chance, you too, my friend. So Yusuke is pretty strong at the end of the series, like in his peak when he's going against Yomi, and while that fight doesn't really give us too much insight into how ridiculously powerful he is, we're kind of just taking a guess, because we're basing it off of how powerful he is against Sensui in the demon world, like before he taps into his demon power. He is, I don't know, when he's going against Sensui, it's like a Dragon Ball Z-esque fight. Like, they're flying pretty much, they're like fighting like super fast, it's like a blur. Yusuke's like spirit guns are blowing up like close to mountain level sizes of rocks and stuff like that. Pretty impressive stuff. So if he's only way stronger than that after his training in Demon World to, you know, go against Yomi, we can assume that he's got to be like above Dragon at that point. It's difficult to say how fast he is, you know, compared to like the One Punch Man characters. Like, is he as fast as Sonic, or is he as fast as Flashy Flash? I'm not sure. It doesn't seem that way, but he is pretty fast. Like what I said, it looks like a Dragon Ball Z fight when he's going against Sensui, and he's just getting faster than that. But just his output, like his crazy power with the spirit guns, that's like above Dragon stuff, approaching God level. I mean, like in the manga, Genkai says that Yusuke could probably destroy the Earth if he wanted to, and that's probably true. Like if he just shot a full power thing, it'd be like collapsing Star Roaring Cannon stuff. So he's definitely like above Dragon God, just taking a guess around there. Kurama and Hiei, they're not on that level, but they're like dragons for sure. Maybe even high dragons. Hiei is more so speed and technique, and it's difficult to say, like I said. But I think he's like mid to high, and Kurama is the same way. Their durability is very good too. Now, Kuwabara, on the other hand, his Dimension Sword, just the weapon itself, is like God level territory. It's said that it can pretty much literally cut anything, including like space and time and dimensions and stuff, because that actually happens. Which means in theory he can cut anyone in One Punch Man, including Saitama. Now, of it is a whole other question because he's not fast and strong enough to be able to just cut anyone. So they could outspeed him and they could beat him. But if he were to cut somebody, it would just be lights out, game over. Like, that sword is one of the most powerful things we've ever seen in all of like battle manga. It's so awesome, and it's too bad that they benched him at his peak. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Once again, I want to thank all 79 of my amazing, awesome patrons. Guys, I love you so much. I tell you this all the time, but it's the truth, and I can't thank you enough for everything. And if you would like to be in next week's Q&A, just simply check out my Patreon. The $5 tier will give you access to this video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the